Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am continuing my 31 days of horror movie reviews, and I finally reached the end of the Rec series. Yes, I am here to review Rec 4, which is a 2014 film, and the plot is we're right back to the apartment building from the first Rec movie and even the second Rec movie. We're back there and we see another group of SWAT guys. We all know what happened to the last set of SWAT team, but this group goes in there and they pretty much take care of business. It's not too long before they find the sole survivor, Angela, the TV reporter, once again played by Manuela Velasco, and they find her and they get her out there. And everything should be okay, unless you remember the end of the second Rec movie and you go, wait a minute, should they really be letting her out of there? But then she wakes up, she's at some bunker-like place, until she eventually finds out that they're on a ship far away out in the middle of nowhere. And then you come to see that her, along with a couple of other people, have been brought to this ship to undergo testing. It's not only to make sure that they're clean and that they're not infected, but to figure out an antidote, figure out a way to prevent further infection. Now, what I thought of Rec 4 was, I thought this movie was okay. Okay, not bad, not terrible, but not great either. I'm sort of just in the middle of the road with this movie. There are things about it that I like. First of all, seeing Manuela Velasco back as Angela, I liked, because I like the actress a lot, I do, and she's not too bad to look at, so all of that is there. And I was curious. I was curious because after the ending of the second movie, you can't help but think, what the hell is about to happen now with her character, with this virus, with the apocalypse? I mean, how much further are they going to take this? And then the third movie went off and did its own thing. So you didn't really know if you were ever going to get the answer to that until this movie. And I will say that Manuela, she's great here. I think her acting is great. I think I wanted to like her more, though. And I struggled with that. I couldn't really like her as a character because I couldn't really trust her as a character. The ending of the second movie is basically the old woman, infected woman from the attic, putting a parasite into her body. So the whole movie, I'm sitting here and all I'm thinking is, okay, where's the parasite? Where's the moment where she reveals herself as being the evil thing? Where's the moment where she's probably the reason why this whole ship gets infected? I was constantly sitting there waiting for her to snap, waiting for her to reveal herself. And that's an issue because she's, at least if not the main character, one of the big main characters, and I'm supposed to care about her. I'm supposed to want to root for her. But it's hard because you don't trust her. Paco Manzanito as Guzman, he is another main character. He's the SWAT guy who found Angela in the house and brought her there. So he too is also here to make sure he's clean. And I like this guy. Obviously, I'm not aware of him. I don't know him because I don't watch a lot of Spanish movies. But I will say that I not only did I like him because he just seemed like a badass and a guy who you could sort of trust and go along with. He seemed like a decent guy. So he was easy to get behind. Now, there's another character named Dr. Riccardi, and he was sort of the head of doing these experiments, the head of trying to find the antidote for this virus. And as much as this movie tried to portray him as the villain, as the bad guy, as, you know, because everybody wearing those science lab coats and like they have to be the villains, right? But I honestly understood where he was coming from. Like, so many times he kept saying, we can't make another mistake. We can't fuck up. This is big. This is the apocalypse we're talking about. If we let this get out, it could be the end of the world. And he was taking every precaution that he had to. I got it. The only thing I guess, with him and just this whole group of scientists is that they sort of say that maybe they're the cause of it, or maybe they created it, or maybe they have these infected monkeys downstairs in the basement, and that's where the movie almost lost me a little bit, with infected monkeys running around. I mean, I get it. If the virus is going to come from anything, monkeys make sense. Look at 28 Days Later. Look at in real life where AIDS came from. Monkeys are what makes sense. It's just seeing these little monkeys running around, infected, crazed, going crazy. It's reminding me a little bit of Jumanji. Those monkeys running around causing chaos. Also, some of the other characters, we have Lucas, who was a character that I really liked. Also Nick, who was also a character I really liked. They just seemed like likable guys, fun guys at times, especially Nick. He had a thing for Angela. He watched her on TV all the time. You can't really blame him. But then there came a point where I liked Lucas, I liked Nick, until one moment of the movie. One moment where Nick is supposed to be a guy who maybe, I don't want to say a coward, but maybe a guy who just isn't going to be the bravest of guys here. And there's one moment where he should help somebody. I'm going to stay away from spoilers and all this stuff, but there's a moment where it's like you want this guy to step up. You want this guy to not be an asshole and leave somebody hanging. But he does that. He leaves them hanging. And I felt so bad for the other character. I hated Nick just in that one instance. And then it's never really, it's not a thing. It's just the rest of the movie. It's like, oh, well, shit happens, I guess. And I didn't really know how to feel about him after that. As far as another character, there's this old woman, Anciana. Now, she is a really old woman. She almost doesn't really know where she is and what's really going on. But her connection is interesting. She was at the wedding. So they do reference the wedding from Rec 3. I like that. It's not like it's the bastard child or anything. They reference the wedding. She was there. She took a nap. So I guess she was sleeping through that whole ordeal, if you can believe that. So she's here. And the way how the crew gets infected, I don't know how to feel about that either. They get infected through the food because the chef, he got infected first. And so but overall, I mean, I guess how else are you going to do it? Also, I talked about how Rec 2 and Rec 3 had religious aspects of it, and how much I didn't really love all of that. People commented and they told me that there is a part at the end of Rec 1 where they do reference that the girl was possessed, and they do talk about the demons and stuff. I completely missed that. I don't know if I just missed the subtitles, like missed that one line of dialogue where they talk about it being possessed. I missed it. So for me, the religious thing caught me off guard. But this movie barely brings up the religious aspects of it. I mean, they reference it, I think, but it has nothing to do with really the plot. This goes back to what I like the most about these movies, is that it's an infection. Because that feels real to me. That's something that, even as crazy and as over the top as some of this might be, it's the realest kind of way you can play it, at least for me. So I did like that. They went back to the basics. But there is this parasite. And this parasite, like I said, from the second movie, supposedly, as far as we know, is in Angela. This parasite was very creepy. I found it interesting of where this could go. It reminded me of, if anybody saw Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, yeah, right? Well, that movie also had like a parasite that was going from body to body. So this movie really goes into that. And I did find it interesting, a little weird, but a little interesting. All in all, this movie, I will say this, if they make a sequel, another Rec movie, I can't imagine where it would go. It would become Sharknado if they ever tried to continue this story. I don't know how to feel about this. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. This movie was just okay, just fine. It was a time waster. It's not something I regret really watching, but it's not something that I'm ever going to feel a need to go out and buy the Blu-rays and probably rewatch any of this. I'm glad that I've seen the Rec movies. I am. But some of these sequels, I don't know. I don't know. It's in crazy directions. I have seen worse though. As far as horror sequels go, I've seen a lot worse. So I will say that. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Rec 4 Apocalypse? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later! Please won't you say my desire?